Tumi knew the first time she saw Emmet that they'd date one day. However, it took her 3 years to finally speak up to a high school sweetheart.
He was always a quiet guy sitting on the side. And I was like, he's mine.
When the marriage conversation was brought up, Emmet experienced his biggest culture shock. But he is now ready for it all.
I was like, so babe, how do I marry you? And then she's like, oh no, you gotta pay this, and then we gotta do this, and then go to this. And I'm like, wow.
The high school sweethearts did not know that life is not always as they anticipated. How will they cope with the challenges?
We met at school, in high school. I've had like a crush on him for 3 years until matric, where I finally spoke up, and that's how it all happened.
We tend to call it very God-given because we just find the scenario was like 1 in a million in a sense. So it was an Afrikaans subject that we were going to. I was actually a bit late to class. She was early as always. And when I got there, I was planning to sit at the back of the class, but the teacher told me to stop and I had to find another chair. And the only chair that was available was next to her, but she wasn't even there. She was outside of the class. So I went to sit there and her friends were all like laughing. I don't know why. And then 2 minutes later, she walks in and sits next to me. And that's when I'm like, oh, that's why they were laughing. And then from there on, when the teacher was done with the work and stuff, we kind of just started talking and everything. And as soon as we got outside of class, she just went, so you go to the V-ball with me. So nervous.
Oh my gosh. I feel like, for me, I knew from the get-go. I was new at school and we were in grade 10. And he was always a quiet guy sitting on the side. And I was like, he's mine. My friends knew, my family knew that there's this guy that I admire in class because he was always so quiet, and that's what I've always wanted for my life.
And it was actually when we first went to the V-ball. That night, just the way that we were, it wasn't a thing of like, she wanted to do something, I wanted to do something, we went our own ways. We danced, and then for the rest of the night, we slept on each other's shoulders. And from there on, how every day went onwards, I was like, this is the one. There's no if, and, or but about it.
Yeah, it was moving together. So the biggest cultural shock for him actually was Lobola. We got together and okay, cool, it was just like all a lovey-dovey situation, relationship. But then it got to a thing of where he was asking me how it goes if he actually wants to marry me one day. And I explained to him that you have to pay lobola. You have to go to my home, ask my parents. It doesn't just happen like, okay, I want to marry you. He wasn't expecting that, but it was actually an interesting factor to him.
It's always been like that because obviously my whole life, I never knew about the culture too much. So for me, it was just a thing of get on your knee, marry, and you're together. So as soon as we were together, of course, I needed to like, plan ahead. When we started moving, I was like, okay, now I need to think about the future. And then I've always seen in movies and things with the lobola thing, but I just knew about the thing of like, I had to bring cows or whatever. And I was like, so babe, how do I marry you? And then she's like, oh no, you gotta pay this, and then we gotta do this, and then go to this. And I'm like, wow, okay, so there's a lot more. I think even though it was like such a shock, I actually enjoy learning about all the different things. It's actually amazing. Going to different events and all of that, I really do love it though.
I don't think there's actually a cultural shock for me because they don't really have like complicated things.
I'm German, but we don't follow like the exact culture of it part. Because I've got the German and the British sides, but of course we were originated from South Africa. So we don't actually have a set culture we follow. We just kind of live life, I guess.
The most exciting thing for me about my partner is how humble he is and patient, because the thing is, I'm used to a thing of having to like beg to be loved, try and go to an extra mile to like be seen, be heard. With him, it's like a different thing. I can just be like, babe, 1, 2, and 3. And he understands, he gets me, and he knows how to go about the situation. I feel like that's the most exciting thing for me because it makes it easier for me, even when I'm going through something, to like confide in him because I know that he's gonna understand me, he's gonna get me, and he's gonna tackle the situation in the most calm manner.
For me, honestly, I think if I had to pick one main part that I find the most exciting about her, it's probably the love and support that she offers me. Like, I've kind of always never believed in myself. And then again, with the love, it's the same thing of confiding in her, being with her. She's always supporting me. She's always loving me no matter what, whether through the good or the bad times, through everything. The love is always in it. And the amazing thing is that it never fades away.
The most annoying thing about my partner is that most of the times, if I've planned something or something is happening, I would like stress, and I'm used to like being like that. And he's always like, babe, calm down. It's all gonna work out. I don't want to calm down, okay? I want to scream, I want to shout, and I want this to work out. But he's always trying to calm me down, and it like kind of annoys me because I'm like, don't do that. But it actually helps me in a way.
He has a very low level of patience.
Yeah.
So I'll be calm and everything. I'll be running like 5 minutes late. She'll be running around the house like, babe, we need this, we need that. We're missing this, we're missing that. I'm like, babe, just come in, let me hold you. No, don't hold me, we need to go, we need to move. I'm like, babe, it's okay. It like affects like my like peace with it as well. So then I have to try my best, and then when we eventually in the car, she's here like, I'm just like, and the funny thing is, as soon as we get to the event and we're done, and I told her, so was that bad? And the one thing she always says is, don't say you told me so. Because I always say, I told you so. It worked out. There was no problem.
What's the most annoying thing about me?
It's your patience. But I can deal with it though. I've learned it. So one of the most difficult times with like our relationship is not necessarily of what one person does, but it's how the world reacts.
Yeah.
And the thing is with interracial relationships, of course, it's popular. There's a lot of them, but the way the world still sees them, it's like a thing of like, this shouldn't happen. You should stick to your own color, your own race. The first thing that we experienced and realized, it wasn't a thing of people being like, you know what, you got this. Yes, our parents were amazing. They immediately accepted it, but as soon as you walk into public, you went from being alone, nobody caring about you, to all of a sudden feeling like a celebrity, but in the wrong way. People would look at us, they would stare us down, but they would give us those looks of like, you two don't belong together. You guys should go on your own paths and everything like that. We still experience to this day.
Yeah.
Over a year and a half. In Cape Town, it's honestly not hectic. There's a lot more interracial relationships. Here in Joburg, we were even out at the shops today, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people just constantly looking at us. But the way we've developed and just grown with each other, we honestly don't care anymore. It's just a thing that we love each other and we're happy with each other. So if people want to waste their time looking at us, that's not my problem.
The most important thing is that we don't let it affect us, because like he says, we could be in public and people look at us like we're some animals from some different world. Because the thing is, some people look with like a disgusted face, and it does make you question yourself that, am I even supposed to be doing this? But at the end of the day, it's not for people, it's for us.
Honestly, like, if I'm genuinely thinking, I don't really think there is one thing I would change. Like, people might think, okay, what if you change the patience level? The problems makes you grow as a person. The problems develop you because it helps you understand what you're doing wrong. I literally can't change anything about my partner. She's, as I would say, she's perfect. Like an angel sent from heaven. That's basically.
Okay, stop. You're gonna make me cry. I know there's nothing I'd want to change about him, because there's like, everyone has their own flaws, but it's also how you deal with them. If you're with the right person will love you with your flaws. He loves me, he takes care of me. He loves me even when I can't even love myself.
Change anything about a relationship? Still not.
Nothing.
Honestly, no.
As much as we've had like challenges and difficulties, we had to go through them to grow, because there's no perfect relationship.
No.
Every relationship comes with its own ups and downs. I feel like our strategy to overcome difficulties is communication.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing, no matter how small you think the problem is, we communicate. No matter what, we communicate. If you don't like something, bring it to the table so we can talk about it and get it fixed. Because if we don't communicate, we're then going to hold grudges against each other without even realizing.
The way our peers and family members reacted to us, I want to say it was very like 50-50. I know about my family and I know about hers, but my family was very accepting. Initially, I wasn't sure how they would take it. So when she first asked me out, I sat them down and was like, listen, I've got a date. They were like, perfect. And I was like, you don't have a problem with it? And they're like, no. Some friends have been like, we love it, we accept you guys, we're gonna be here with you no matter what. Some friends have just ditched you, left you for dead. They honestly don't care. They're more against you than with you. But I think one of the biggest things that it's brought out is fake friends.
My family was very supportive and accepting because they've always known since I had a crush on him in grade 10. And I would always tell my sister and my mom, I'm like, we are gonna date one day. They were very accepting and supportive, making sure that we have what we need and all of that. Not all my friends were happy about it. It's really nothing that we considered as much because we really didn't care much if they supported us or not. The only thing that mattered was support from our families. For me, the first person I told about my relationship was my sister. I told her that, listen, remember that guy from grade 10? We are finally dating. And I asked him to go to the V-Ball with me. And then I told my mom, and my mom was like, really? Let's go look for a dress. Let's go find a dress. They were so excited.
For me, the first person I told about us, I believe it was either my dad or my parents, because I know my dad would usually pick me up from school. When I found out that I had a date, I was both shocked but happy at the same time, because I just went the whole high school life like, okay, you know what, yeah, love isn't for me, it's not gonna happen. And as soon as that happened, it was almost like one of those things of, okay, I need to pinch myself. Am I in a dream? Am I gonna wake up in the morning? What's gonna happen? The initial reaction from them was very supportive. I think they were more happy that I found someone to actually be with me. And it was also the same thing of, all right, let's get in the car, go to a suit shop, let's find something to wear. But yeah, very supportive.
We receive so much negativity from strangers. It could be on social media, it could be in person. Because I remember there was a time where on our Instagram account, there was someone who commented and said something like, why don't you stick to your own? As much as it wasn't direct, you get what the person is saying, you know? And even in public, of course, it's how people look at us, the comments that people make.
I want to say, if we were to clarify anything people think about us, it would probably just be, again, the one thing of, if you have a problem with us, kind of leave it with yourself. Don't bring it to us, because we don't have a problem with ourselves. We're very happy together. So we don't want your negativity with us. We're very positive. We love life.
I feel like one last thing to clarify, because we got a comment like this on Instagram, was that we are expecting a baby. I'm not pregnant. I just came from surgery. Yes, I gained so much weight. The surgery affected me. So yes, we are not pregnant.
Definitely, in the
course.
future, yes, 100%.
Yeah. We have spoken about marriage, and we both feel like it's one of the most important things a couple should discuss before they go far in the relationship, because you could date someone and you feel like, okay, it's too early to discuss marriage, but then you find that this person doesn't even want to get married one day. So it's something we discussed at an earlier stage. For us, the conversation of marriage was pretty great because we both want to get married one day, and we know that, okay, listen, we're going to get married when we're ready. Something that should be done from the bottom of your hearts and knowing that we are both ready for this.
The most important thing for me was just also understanding the culture, because I don't want to do anything to offend the culture. It was very important for me to just know how it works, because when I first heard about Lobola, that's when I was like, okay, so I know it's not going to be just as simple as 1, 2, 3. That's why in the conversation, it was very specific of what do I do and when do I need to do it. I'm completely for it. I know that it's there, so it has to be done, and I'm happy with it.
We actually already spoke about the type of wedding we want. We actually want a simple wedding. We just want to have our close friends and family. Of course, we're going to have our traditional wedding and then the white wedding, but both of them are going to be simple and very intimate.
A working formula for the success of our relationship is putting God as the center.
Yeah.
God as the center will carry your relationship no matter what. If it's in His plan, it will work. And just having Him in the center, you can't go wrong. You'll still fight, you'll still go through all of that, but that will allow you to grow as a couple. But having God there makes everything 10 times better. And especially when you have someone that allows you to go closer to God. That is the best thing.
there's this saying of if you pray together, you stay together. I've seen that in our relationship. Of course, at the start, we weren't like connected spiritually, you know, but honestly, putting God as the center of our relationship has made it so much easier, because we would be facing something, and the first thing we do is ask for guidance from God, you know, and just like how to go about situations.